survive with that money for a year, then you can always raise at a higher valuation and all. But we said, what is the fundamental objective for us to be doing this business? And we said, fundamental objective is to do X, Y, Z, and really doesn't matter if you're diluting more. And then that gave us the courage and the confidence to go and raise money at half the valuation of the previous round. And there is a term called full ratchet, and we had a full ratchet, which means you will have even more problematic dilution, but it really didn't hurt. We diluted, we raised that money, and then that money actually gives a lot more strength. When all of our competitors or whoever it is, they were going out of business, we had the money to go forward. And it is also one of the reasons why we are what we are today. And it is because of that. And also when you recruit people, the world is all very, very different. Yeah, it was very useful to us.
No, that's really exciting to hear. Just one more question, last question before I turn it back to the audience. Whenever people start companies, I mean, I've heard things like, oh, I'm married, I have financial responsibilities, or my uncle says it's a bad idea. I mean, what do you say to people like these when they're starting companies?
I don't know. In our case, we were not married, didn't have kids. So we were just 3 years into the job, and we got campus placed, and the world was really was in a good momentum. And with 3 years experience, we always thought we could get back a job. And also VLSI is such a niche that people with 3 years experience were valued. So we didn't have job security problem, and for us it was a very easy move to get into it. And we got into it.
Wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. So that's basically all with the organized part of the session. I'm going to turn it over to the audience, and this is the time for you to ask questions. So Ajay, you want to start?
You had a brilliant idea which came from solving you had a pain point, you had a solution. Did you ever think about protecting the idea by patenting the concept or IP, etc.?
Okay, never. Not just the idea. When we are doing this, people said, when you tie up with the bus operator, why don't you have exclusive agreements, saying that he will sell only through you. And because we were the first ones to tie up with the bus operator, he could have very well given us. And some of our competitors were actually doing exclusive agreements. We went and spoke to the mentors, saying that, how do we do, what do we do? Then the mentors said, the only protection that you can have is your growth and your own fundamental way of doing things. And the only difference, the only protection that it can have is your thought process, your ability, and your pace at which you do, and etc. And they said that's the reality, whether you accept it or not. And when that's the reality, it's good for you to accept, because at least you are in touch with the reality. And every day you don't worry about how to protect your IP, you worry about how do I enhance my skills. Right? So it was, that's the kind of guidance and the mentoring that we got. And yeah, that was very helpful. So right from day one we believed that. And then we also went and posed the question to our mentor, saying that, but the other guy is signing exclusive agreements, will it not be a problem to us? The mentor said, the buses are run by the bus operator. He's been into business for so long. And what he wants is business, and there are customers who are trying to go. Who is this third party who is coming in saying, all your inventory is mine? They said, it's not going to stand. The fundamental business, there is somebody who is good, somebody who is buying. How can a third party, unless he has a strong say in the whole transaction, how can he have a say in it? Even if he has a say now, tomorrow it's going to break. There is nobody who will, if you are doing your business right, if you have customers, you are selling to customers, if your process is good, there is nobody who can stop a bus operator from tying up with you if he really wants to tie up with you and you want to tie up with him. These are some of the really profound things, right? I mean, when you are being told and then you give it a thought and then you experiment with it, and when it works, then you believe in it. So that's the thing. And today also we don't have any agreement with anybody. And even boss, we say when we give boss to the bus operator, we say, okay, you're feeding seed seller, but you can go and feed anybody. Anybody who wants to start a green bus, yellow bus, whatever bus, you can go and give it to them. It really doesn't matter, because we have to win by making our call centers work well, by making our website work well, by making our cost low so that we can offer the lowest cost to. So those are the things that you always are putting your effort in building. Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Next question, please. Yes, sir.
Just a curious question. A typical day when you were working in Texas Instruments and doing this, and a typical day now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, typical day in Texas Instruments is go late, have a chai, read up papers, and start post-lunch and end late. But here it's a completely different thing. I mean, you never stop, right? I mean, all through the night you're thinking about it. Morning when you're taking bath, you're thinking about it. When you're traveling, you're thinking about it, and etc. and all. But one other thing that I want to talk about in this context is, I mean, out of my experience, I believe that entrepreneurship is a huge process of self-refinement, right? I mean, there are so many responsibilities on you, and there are so many things that are happening around you. Suddenly, you start behaving so maturely, right? And it's really worth it. I mean, it is very stressful. Suddenly you will have a resignation, suddenly you will have a competitor who is giving you a 1 rupee a ticket, suddenly you would have somebody shouting at you, suddenly you have deficit of trust amongst your members. So many things that go through the whole thing, and every day you are standing up to it. It is a huge self-refinement process, and I think every day I'm a very different person than yesterday. And it's really, I mean, for me it is a very nice thing to happen.
There was a problem when I traveled with Redbus that I booked this is a technical problem, that I booked a ticket on makemytrip.com. The same ticket was sold, and at this point when we were traveling, the bus which we booked, that guy cancelled the bus. They were trying to arrange it in some other bus, and that type of technical problems which take place on site on that day of travel. How do you solve
Okay, there are multiple things. I mean, one thing is today you would not have that problem because
that was 1 year ago when I
I'm also saying. I mean, I'm saying that because today the volumes that the bus operator gets from us, right, is that makes him take really a good care of our customers. And it has always been a function of the bus operator's whole operations and his interest in making sure that the customer is really taken care of, and etc. and all that. So today you probably have noticed the customer ratings on our site. And I would tell you, I mean, I want to share a small this thing out of that. The customer ratings has put the whole bus industry into a very nice virtuous cycle. What happens is it has gotten so many new customers to travel by bus who've never ever traveled. So many new customers have gotten into the bus passenger traveling pool never before. Like 2010, you go to any bus operator and ask them how is the business, they would say, in decades, 2010 is the best ever year for the bus industry. And that's because, and they would obviously say it's because of the Redbus. I mean, one thing is because of the Redbus, other thing is also because visibility of their inventory, credibility of the whole bus passenger, because so much news is being written about us, which never has been written about the bus industry. And let's say a customer who has never traveled by bus, now he wants to travel by bus. Earlier, if he wanted to travel by bus, in his mind it was like unorganized, unstructured. I don't know whether it will reach, not reach. It is run by gundas, rowdies. Every time we hear they put kerosene and run those buses and etc. and all that. So people would not give it a try. Even when they give it a try as a last resort, they go to the travel agent, and the travel agent knows that you are a stranger, you're a first-time customer, and then he would push you onto a bus which has the highest commission, and the bus which has the highest commission is probably the lowest quality bus. And then your whole experience will add to your whole notion of bad, ugly, and etc. And then that keeps you away from giving it a try next time. But now the first thing is it's accessible. You can compare prices, you can do everything, and then you have ratings there. And you are most probable to choose a 5-star bus or whatever it is. Then your whole experience is good. Then that incentivizes you for you to come back again, right? And then more and more customers get added. And then the other thing on the bus operator side is he is now showcased. A person who is 2-star, if you try to book a bus ticket with a 2-star bus, a pop-up comes up on Redbus and saying, boss, this is a bad quality bus. Do you still want to go ahead and book? Right? And the bus operator knows that I will not be able to sell only if all the other 5-star, because the fare is not very different. Only when all the 5-star is sold, my seats will get sold. That is actually pushing him to put all his effort in increasing the 3-star to 4-star to 5-star and etc. As a result, the whole bus industry is getting organized and structured and better quality service that again feeds back into customers coming more and more. So things like these are so powerful, right? And it really feels good to get that change. And if you can impact the whole industry, right? I mean, it feels so good. So that's the thing. So.
Actually, I'm going to take a question at the back. Yes.
Hi. Congratulations. Great job. I'm going to speak up a little. I'm a big fan of Redbus. I think you use open source really well. My question is more on valuation. I'm still gross with whatever you said. I'll try to articulate. So, as a small company, as a startup, while I'm trying to build a service for all my customers, when I try to raise funds, right, I'm really not sure how do I re-dilute, because I want the money right now to take my company to the next level. But how important it is to really visualize how far I want to take this company. If I want to take my company all the way to IPO, how much should I dilute? And all these questions. So if you have these questions, A, and B, what is your recommendations to startups?
Sure. Actually, those are the things, scary things in my mind too. Even today, right? Like last round when we raised how much to dilute. Will you be 1,000 crore company, NASDAQ listing, India listing, and etc. I have no answers for that. That's what I'm saying. When you, like next year, probably I have visibility for the next 2 years from then. Right now, I have visibility only for the next year. I just can't say anything beyond that. So that is, I'm saying that you and I are on the same boat in that. But there are two things that I want to share in this context. One thing is that it is completely, it's completely an art. Because people who are sitting on the other side of the table are not somebody, valuation of a startup is never being taught anywhere. It is not science, right? No MBA school teaches valuation of a startup, right? So it has never been taught. Nobody knows how to do it. So there is no formula there. So the way it happens is only on the relationship, only when you know each other, and the guy knows how much can you do, how desperate you are, you know how desperate he is. It's just those things which actually make the number out there. And then the second thing that I want to say is there are some concrete things which also works on the valuation. So the early stage investment, the investors always have a fixed percentage number in their mind, right? Irrespective of whether you're raising 1 crore, 2 crores, 5 crore, I mean below $1 million, any number that you're raising, if the investor's thought process is he should get, let's say, 20%, 25%, 33%, 40%. So he would only jump these 4 steps. So if you say I want to raise 3 crores, probably he would say 33%, right? If you say I want to raise 1 crore, he would say 20%. He would never go below 20%. So the trick